Good morning. My name is Eduardo David. I'm 36 years young and currently reside in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is the showgirl capital of the world. I myself will go on and give you a small list of the things that I do. And also, I want to let you know that this is not a makeup tutorial. I just chose that in order for me to be able to open up. Why not try something different? This may be unorthodox. However, there's nothing more intimate than when you allow someone in your basically boudoir, your makeup, you know, your actual space where you get to transform. So, I will go on ahead, and this will not be like a tutorial. This will be spliced. I just simply wanted to go ahead and start a look and then cut it. Fast forward, I will show you the look at the very end, and hopefully you like what you see. Okay, because the main thing I want to highlight is I remember growing up in a hut, and I was 5 years old. I was fortunate enough to come to America. However, it wasn't easy because I had to do the whole process of becoming a resident into a citizen, where you're shuffled back and forth every 6 months. Until I became a citizen, I literally moved about 10 times. And it was really difficult for me to actually establish relationships with anyone because of the fact that I was always on the go. As a child, it's very different. You're also learning a different language. And on top of that, I was having to do and deal with a lot of adversity and racism within my own family. And that's what I mainly want to highlight. 3 years old, I'll never forget that I thought I wanted to be a girl. Then I realized in our country, women are treated so horrible, and I never wanted to ever give up my right as a man just so I could become a woman. My own grandmother was absolutely, I call her the Hitler. Or, well, no, I actually say that she makes Hitler seem pleasant because she was really a horrible person. She always would, sequester myself, my mother, and my great grandmother into like the other side of the room. We'd always get our meals last. We'd always get insulted the most. And it wasn't fun. To have someone actually hate you for the color of your skin and not really be able to explain why is not fair. You don't want to ever grow up having any hate or animosity in your heart as much as I did. But I will say that I thank her, my grandmother, for at least giving me that animosity, giving me that fire, because I took all of that negativity and I literally just used it as fuel and created something out of it. Because with my anger, I don't feel like other people outside of my realm in the real world really deserve to see that angry side of me. No one does. I don't think so. So, my mother was absolutely amazing, and one of the many things that I love about her was that she let me be myself. And I remember growing up, she would always allow me to wear makeup. I started at the age of 10. I wanted to dye my hair. Well, I wasn't allowed to dye my hair or grow my hair out because boys don't have long hair. And I was also a Negro from my grandmother's standpoint. And my mother, for every good grade I got, she would take me to the cosmetics counter and she would tell me to pick something out. And that's how I learned that I love the power of makeup and transformation. Not because I want to be a woman, I just want to play, with colors and just see who I can become. What story can I tell you with my face? What is it going to be today? Do I want to be, a fairy in another realm? Or do I want to be, a lily? Simply a flower. Or do I want to be a bed of roses? The power of makeup and transformation is incredible. It's very therapeutic, actually. Overcoming adversity, that was another stepping stone for me. I just turned 36, April of this year, which is 2021. And I actually just finally had some closure and much needed self-discovery of knowing who I was by accepting the fact that I was, part black. We were not allowed to say that we were Afro-Dominican in my family. There were no people that in my family that were my complexion that were allowed to ever speak of the word Afro-Dominican. You were not allowed to say that you were black. You were not allowed to say anything of that in that context because of the fact that it was wrong and my grandmother did not want it in our household. So we were never allowed to say, that we were ethnic, I guess you can say it. Because I grew up basically thinking I was white. And I remember when I was 22 and working at a front desk job, and I go through my profile online, and when I look up my ethnicity, I realized that it had said Caucasian, and I thought I had put Hispanic. And long story short, my entire life, all of my paperwork has always said that I was Caucasian, not Hispanic. So that's just like another mind fuck where I'm like, wait, I'm Hispanic, right? Like a Hispanic white? Like this, I'm so confused. And then this year, when I finally was able to just say, F it, I am, part black, I am, Afro-Dominican, I'm mixed, multi-race, but there's a lot of different ethnicities in this melting pot. The most predominant is, African-American. And I'm able to say that and be proud. And that changed my whole game. That changed my aesthetic, that changed everything about me as an artist. Because I was painting a face that is now mine. Prior to this very day, I was painting a face that was, technically in my head, was white. And now I'm painting for someone who is ethnic and someone who loves their features and someone who will go ahead and yes, I may contour my face, but it just depends on what I'm doing that day or how I'm doing that day. It's not about me trying to be another race anymore. It's more about me actually not trying to hide things that I thought were flawed. And it's crazy that I'm able to express my art where I do because people still get confused. People always ask me what my pronouns are, like what do you prefer to be called, he, she, this, that, and the third. My thing is that I have always been androgynous. I will always be androgynous, and I made a career out of my androgyny. And the thing is, I identify as a man, however, I have feminine features, and I also do, drag. And with that being said, the difference between androgyny and I guess what I really do, it's actually hard to explain. Just know I'm still a man. I will always be a man. I have androgynous features. I do drag, but at the end of the day, I'm still Eddie. That's who I go home to. Like the diva that you see on a stage or on a flyer or, dancing about or out on the street, that is not who is at home. I'm still Eduardo David. That has not changed. That will never change. And that is something that I am still having to deal with to this very day. And it's really interesting when people do ask me, like, so are you a man or a woman? After, like, embracing who I am and actually being so much more in your face when it comes to, like, all my social media content and whatnot, it has been rather overwhelming because I have not had to really explain myself to people. Yes, there's a lot of, like, negative comments that are put out there, but I like to go ahead and be a smartass. And anytime someone throws something negative at me, I just give them a smartass reply because they will not get to me at all whatsoever. I have already been filled with enough hate in my heart that I've let go of, that there's no need for me to actually bring that back in. And I don't have the energy to bring that back in, so what I do is when I do retaliate, I guess, I always give them some type of remark that will actually educate the person and let them know that you can't fuck with me. And also, you know what? Be open-minded. Just don't be an asshole. I always close out lately I've been closing out my videos with don't be rude. Just don't be rude. And be kind to one another. And to bullies, I always like to go ahead and beat them to the punchline because I would say something really smart and quick, and literally the room would be laughing so hysterically that they would all forget what they're even pointing out when it came to me. They were laughing at the bully and my smartass reply. And I've always been that way, very quick-witted, and I still am. So my whole thing is I don't believe in bullying, I don't believe in, scare tactics. And when people try to intimidate me, it just annoys me. So I will immediately end up going on the defense and explain to them, like, it's not gonna work. Sorry, boo-boo. My satanic grandmother cannot get to me, and neither will you. And what's interesting about right now being accepted for who I am, it's that I am not used to it. I'm so used to having to pretend to be somebody else or somebody that I'm not. And now that I'm getting hired for jobs that are just requiring me to be me, I never know what to say. I don't know how to respond because I don't really know who I really am, if that makes any sense. like I know how to, act a certain way and how to like present myself a certain way. However, for me to be myself, it's not an easy task because it took a long time to get to like where I'm at now. It really did. And like when you go through self-discovery, it's one of those moments where you feel like all of this weight is lifted off of you. And if you have any resentment or any type of um, guilt or any type of anger, you end up letting go of it. What's really liberating about that is that people are so accepting of it and so welcoming. I don't like being like someone's dirty little secret, and like I still, have I may be a tough bitch, but I still have feelings. I still bleed like everyone else. But I have a tough exterior, and I'm also a really tough cookie to deal with. However, I still have feelings, and I still go through the emotions of being hurt or disappointed or anger when it comes to someone that is trying to hide who I am or tell me that I should be this, but I'm really that. And that was one of the best things about self-discovery is that when someone tells me like to be a certain kind of way because they don't like it, if it's in a professional level, that's different. Like if it's a job where I have to be a character and the character description I must follow, yes, that's okay to tell me how to be. That's different. That's work related. But outside of that, if you were to tell me, oh, I don't like your voice, change it. No, absolutely not. If you don't like my voice, then walk out. Bye. Bye. If there's something about me you don't like, I cannot change it. Unless it is work related or on a professional level. However, there is a difference between constructive criticism and then being an asshole. Don't be an asshole because you will not like my response. And it's one of those things that I just don't take shit. I do not take bullshit. I find that to be just so disgusting when people are like trying to like read you, but just being mean and cruel. And it's like, well, okay, that's how I feel about it. Cute, no worries. I'm not bothered. I'm still gonna keep doing me. I'm like, you're not cutting me checks. You're not the one who's booking me. You're also not my manager. That's just an opinion that you have. Opinions are like assholes. Just because you have one though, does that mean you're entitled to be full of shit. Lastly, I would like to at least highlight, well, my face, as well as highlight that I was able to create my website, which is imeduardodavid.com. That actually does highlight a lot of what I do. And for a very long time, I never really spoke out about it, but that confidence was not real. That was just me, like basically like faking it till I make it. And then I realized I can't keep lying. I have to finally just, come to terms with everything that I'm dealing with and just discover myself. Discover who I really the fuck am. And once I was able to discover that this year, like it has been absolutely a whirlwind of change and fun, and on top of that, I have been very fortunate and feel so blessed to have gotten my foot where it is today in the door. I am involved with, a number of projects, and I can't wait to be able to finally publicly say a lot of these projects I'm involved with, and the fact that I get to possibly, be in a TV show is also exciting because a boy like myself from the islands never thought they would actually be doing things like this. Growing up in a hut with no hot running water and an outhouse where you have to hand wash your clothes back in the 80s. Not cute, not the look. I remember one of my biggest achievements that I still cry and get emotional about to this day was I did a pilot, and they happened to have, it was for the Rami show, and they had their preview or their screening was actually at the Eclipse Theater here in Las Vegas. And I shot the pilot in 2 days. I remember going to this theater and not even knowing that the premiere was for that pilot. So the director sees me and is just like living life and so happy to see me because it had been 8-9 months since he had seen me and we shot everything. And then I get approached by a lot of those who were in the editing process of this, and they kept giving me so much of, great responses and so many compliments. And these are people that I've never met in my life, ever. And that was nice to also feel like the love from a crowd that I have never met before, and that I, in my opinion, was not my target demographic. And they really enjoyed what I was able to bring to the table when it came to my acting and my comedic timing and everything. So when the pilot was, premiered on this big movie screen, I actually got emotional and cried when I saw my name come in the credits. It was just, I know it was not like this, big blockbuster, but for any individual to like see their name like on the movie screen come up in the credits, that's something. That's something big when it comes to like how you feel emotional and feel like, fuck, I made it. I did it. I did this. I got myself here. It took hard work and it was so worth it. And I would do it again in a heartbeat. I really, really would. And that's why I love what I do. Even though sometimes I don't sleep, which is not good, it's worth it in the end. I love when I still get to hear from, different, kids will send me emails about like how I was able to like, overcome bullying, or how was it that I got to be who I am? How did I get there? How was the road? Or when will it stop? That's the one question that kind of still gets me very like taken back, is how, when is it gonna stop? When are the bad thoughts about myself and, thinking that I'm wrong or I'm in the wrong body, or that I'm, something's not right in the head with me? Like, when are those thoughts going to stop? And honestly, it's hard to actually explain to anyone that's even a child, hey, you will have those feelings for quite some time. I can't give you an actual like expiration date on that. However, still remember who you are. And if you're lost, it's okay, because you will find your way. You can't get impatient with it, and you can't think that it is always going to be your fault. You're not at fault for who you are. You are born that way, and you do need to understand that I love you. There are people out there that love you, and you should just keep going. Don't stop, because if you stop, you let them win. And if you just keep going and keep showing the world that, there's a variety of beauty, the world will come, at some point the world will meet and unite, and the world will finally just stop being so, like, ignorant, I guess. I lied. My apologies. The world will probably not stop being ignorant. However, the world will become more understanding and more accepting. And there's last thing I'm gonna say about that is people don't realize that acceptance and tolerance are not the same thing. Now that COVID has somewhat calmed down a little bit, however, it's been a hard like 18 months. You know what sucks about a mask, besides not being able to breathe? It's I have spent so much money on products and whatnot. Now I gotta cover half my face. I just also started embracing the fact that I am Afro-Dominican, and now I gotta have to cover half of that shit up. I'm vaccinated, but I still wear my mask. But we are well past a lot of those who are sick and those who have passed. It's very unfortunate. For me, I actually did blossom during the pandemic, but I ended up taking a lot of free online classes that they were offering through unemployment, and really started my own business, which on my website you can see. And I cannot be any more proud of my progress and the things that I've done, and feel so fabulous that I was able to accomplish these tasks on my own with the help of the state of Nevada, thank you. And now I get to, still be a freelance agent, but I get to, choose my bookings, and I get to be, I get to actually be the creative force behind what I do. And now that I also love who I am and the skin that I'm in, it's even more empowering and also liberating that I get to just be me. Now I'm starting to know who I am. And it's weird, because I can't believe it took that long. At 36 years old, it should not have taken me this long. No, I don't think so. but it did. And there's nothing I would change. Honestly, you can ask me this a few days from now, a few weeks from now, a few months from now, and there's nothing, no matter how painful I've had it in my life, there's absolutely nothing I would change, because of the fact that this is what made me who I am. And I actually do set an example now for youth. And also I have parents that reach out to me also. And here's my thing. I never had to come out of the closet. Never had to. And whenever people talk about their coming out experiences, it's difficult for me because I can't really empathize because of the fact that I don't know what that's like. I really don't. And the one thing that I learned about self-acceptance is that it's one of the best feelings on earth. It really is. Because when you're able to just let go and stop being someone you're not, you have this like sense of freedom that is undescribable. Like, you can't describe that moment. You're like, oh, hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? Hey. And now that I have, so many like fans and people that follow me that actually like are so accepting and so loving, and the ones that get me, that get choked up and cry, are like the grandparents who have like gone to my page and said, keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing. So to me, we are at a day and age where it feels like we're all hypersensitive with words, and sometimes the things people say are taken way out of context, and it just becomes this overdramatic scene that was unnecessary. Hey, I'm doing me, and they love it, and they appreciate it. And that's a wonderful thing to see and hear. So it still happens to this very day, where I do get the comment of, I'm so glad to see someone like you. And I'm like, what is that? Okay, cute. I don't know what that means, but thank you. So I just keep doing me. It's just that I believe in myself so much to where I stand for what I stand for, and I will stand for it to the very end. Unless I am proven wrong by facts, I'm the first one to admit, okay, you were right. I will go ahead and make sure that I will not repeat what just happened. However, that's a rare occurrence, very rare. And when I'm right about something, I don't like really celebrate it. I just say, you're welcome, and now you know. Lesson learned. And I just move on to the next, because I don't have time to sit here and try and gloat about teaching someone a lesson like, oh, I told you, boo. No. They know their lesson. They learned. Trust and believe that. I would like to say thank you so much for taking the time and seeing this video. I look forward to hearing back from you, and please have a wonderful rest of your day. Au revoir. Bye. Hello, hello, and this is the final look. It's actually not what I was intending. However, I absolutely love how it turned out, because I did stuff that is actually new, and I was able to put on these embellishments that are just stunning and stunning, stunning, stunning. So much fun. And what's crazy is that you have to like put them on individually. These are not like strips. So when you actually put them on, it sometimes can get a little frustrating when like one won't go on and you're just like, Jesus. But in all, it's just a fun look. It's like a naughty little dominatrix / clown. So if you mix that in Halloween, put it in a blender, put a clown, put dominatrix in a blender, you might just get me. Hey. I also do birthday parties, bar mitzvahs, and bachelorette and bachelor parties as well. DM me. I'm just kidding. I hope you have the rest of the day to go ahead and just have fun. Use your imagination. Get wild with it. Why not? You only live once. So live it up. Again, my name is Eduardo David, and I want to also say, don't be rude. Just don't be rude. We should all be kind to one another, and enjoy the rest of your weekend as well. Au revoir. Ciao.